These are notes on animal and plant cells. So there are two main kinds of cells. One is an animal cell and one is a plant cell. And there are lots of kind of specialty cells, like a nerve cell, for example. That's what carries signals in your body. That's an animal cell, but it's going to look different than the basic animal cell. So I'm going to kind of give you a general animal cell and a general plant cell. And I'm going to give you some of the little parts of that cell. I'm not going to go over what the parts do right now. We'll do that in class, but you should come into class with a picture that I'm going to draw for you, and then you can draw it in your notes, of both an animal cell and a plant cell and have it labeled so that we can discuss it. And I'll label it as I draw, or at least attempt to draw. We'll see how well I do. So we're going to start with an animal cell, and we're going to make that animal cell kind of circular or even blobby. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle at all, because not all animal cells are. And within that cell we're going to draw another kind of blobby thing kind of in the middle. Actually, let's do a little labeling first. So this outside part here is what we call the cell membrane. And then this part in here is what we call the nucleus of the cell. Now, some of you who already know about atoms may remember that atoms have a nucleus too. That's a different kind of nucleus. So then I'm going to have you draw kind of a oval-shaped thing, and in that oval-shaped thing make kind of a squiggly line going down like this. And you can draw a few of those. So that we've got 4 of them. And the reason I'm having you draw a few is because sometimes you'll look at a picture of a cell and there's just one of each cell part, and that can make you think that there's only one there's only one nucleus. But these guys, these have a much longer, much more technical word. These are called mitochondria. And there's lots of them in a cell. There's hundreds of them just jam-packed in a cell. So we're going to put that in, mitochondria. Technically, one is called a mitochondrion, and then altogether they're called mitochondria. And then we're going to draw some just little round dots like this. And again, you can draw a couple of them. And we're going to call those lysosomes. So, lysosomes. Alright, so we've got our cell membrane, our nucleus, our mitochondria, and our lysosomes. Now, so that's where we're going to stop for our animal cell. There are plenty of other parts of a cell. There's stuff called the endoplasmic reticulum and stuff called the Golgi bodies. We're not going to worry so much about those right now. So now let's move on to the plant cell. Alright, so on our plant cell, instead of drawing something quite so blobby, we're going to draw something that looks more like a box. And then kind of make it like almost double thick, like this. Because plants are a little different than animal cells. Whoops. Alright. And so then this outer thing here, that's actually called the cell wall. Whoops, cell wall. And then the inner one here, that one is the cell membrane. And just like the animal cell, the plant cell has a nucleus. And it's got some mitochondria, so draw those in as well. So then a plant cell also has other little parts, and all these little parts, by the way, are called organelles. I'll write that in here just so you have it. Organelles. That's what the different little parts of a cell are called. You can remember it because it's like they're the organs, so there's organ, of the cell. So it's like you've combined the words organ and cell and you get organelle. So there's another organelle that plants have, so we're going to make it like this. And then instead of the squigglies, we're going to draw little circles like so in this organelle. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of these, and I'm going to label those chloroplasts. So those are called chloroplasts. And then I realized I probably should have drawn this first because it actually takes up a large portion of the cell. So I'm going to move my nucleus label over to here. Actually, I can put it right there on the nucleus, just so I have more room. And then I'm going to draw a really big blobby thing there. And this thing is called a central vacuole. Vacuole. There we go. A central vacuole. So we see that there are some things that are similar to the animal cell and some things that are different from the animal cell, and that's what we're going to talk about in class. So you need to just have these two pictures drawn and labeled in your notes. You don't need to know what these things do, but when I say mitochondria, for example, you should be able to look at your picture and say, oh yeah, that's that thing. All right, have a good night.